Hello, my name is Megan Howell, and I will be talking today about what I want to be when I grow up, which is a graphic designer. This is for my career project for SLS 1501. It's been a really big passion of mine for a very long time, so I'm excited to talk about it. Now, the basic duties of being a graphic designer is basically being a visual communicator by conveying certain ideas by using graphics. The whole idea is to make a brochure or a magazine cover to convey certain ideas or present certain information that your client wants you to present. Now, a graphic designer typically uses digital illustration, photo editing software, and layout software to create designs. An example of some of these software would be Adobe Photoshop. They also create visual elements such as logos, original images, and illustrations that help deliver a desired message. For example, if you look at Coca-Cola or Pepsi or even McDonald's, all those images were done by a graphic designer. They also present design concepts to clients or art directors and incorporate changes recommended by clients or art directors in the final designs. Now, a lot of people think being a graphic designer is very easy because they think that it's simply slapping information onto a page, but in actuality, it can be quite difficult because not only do you need to effectively convey an idea, but you need to make sure you communicate that idea to your client. It doesn't matter how creative or good you are at using a software, if you're not doing what the client wants you to do, you're not going to get a lot of work. So as much as graphic design is about creativity, it's also about great communication. And a fun fact, Helvetica font was introduced in the 20th century. Now, the work environment. Graphic designers either work for a graphic design firm or by themselves as a freelancer. Now, those who work for graphic design firms work in studios where they can work with technology like computers and drafting tables. Now, this is especially helpful for those who maybe work with architects or they work with companies where they can spread their ideas on paper and then work with technology later. Now, those who work for graphic design firms will work with a graphic design team and collaborate with the members. This really helps because if somebody maybe has one idea, but somebody else in the group has another idea, together they might make an idea that fits the client's needs the most. Now, those who are self-employed, of course, usually work independently. And as of 2016, 18% of all graphic designers in the United States were self-employed. So there aren't too many freelancers, but there is certainly a respectable amount. Now, the requirements and places of employment for graphic designers. Now, of course, if you're a graphic designer, you have to be creative, but otherwise, graphic designers typically have to have a bachelor's degree in graphic design or a related field, usually in film or arts, and then gain experience through internships. A lot of colleges have special internships for college students that maybe work on the school newspaper or maybe related magazines for the county or the state. Now, a common place for employment for graphic designers can be advertising agencies, which create advertisements like those you see on billboards or perhaps in TV. Print markets, where graphic designers will create the layout for the pages for newspapers or magazines. And then also in-house graphic designers, which is basically when a company hires a graphic designer to create brochures, websites, etc. for their company, which can either be distributed to their own employees or perhaps distributed to the clients of the business. Then, of course, we have freelancers who basically take the clients that come to them. Now, some related occupations to being a graphic designer are art directors, who man the visual style of magazines and others of the like. Basically, if you're working on a magazine, you'll have an art director who decides what they want the magazine to look like, and then graphic designers are the ones who actually do it. Then there are drafters, which convert the designs of architects into drawings. Basically, the architect decides what the building is going to look like, and the drafter is the one who converts it into an actual drawing. And then web designers, who, of course, create websites. Another fun fact, the term graphic design was first coined by William Addison Dwiggins in 1922. Outlook, pay, and benefits. Now, the job outlook for graphic design isn't very not good, but it's not very impressive. It's expected to grow 4% between 2016 and 2026, which is 3% under the average for all occupations. However, take into account the fact that a lot of graphic designer jobs are based on dying industries such as newspaper or magazine, any physical graphic, However, when you take a look at the employment for graphic designers for computer systems, which is basically online magazines, online articles, it's expected to grow 20% by 2026. However, the competition will of course still be incredibly fierce, since although it is a growing industry, it's an industry not many people want to go into or think of going into. Now, the average annual salary for a graphic designer in 2017 was $48,700 in the United States. Now, in Florida, where we live, it's just under the average, which is $48,256. But a lot of people can make almost up to $85,000, but that's just the average. Now, some of the benefits graphic designers enjoy is paid time off, healthcare, insurance, pension, education reimbursement, sick days, bonus, and taxes, which bumps the median graphic designer compensation up 27.5%, which turns out to be just over $100,000. Now, this doesn't include the benefits of being a freelancer, which means that you're basically your own boss, which definitely has a lot of benefits as well. Now, why I personally would be great with it is a lot. I've had a lot of practice with Photoshop software like Adobe Photoshop. I've personally been working with this for 3 years, and I'm only a junior in high school, so I've definitely had a lot of practice with them, and I think by the time I would be an intern or perhaps even be employed, I would have a lot more practice with it. So I'm definitely not ignorant to what needs to be done or the rigor that goes into being a graphic designer. Another thing is that I've done graphic design for my community. For local theaters, I've been doing playbills and also making advertisements for them for a very long time. So I've also, almost in a way, been an intern myself for a very long time, for about 3 years, and I've been interested in it for 5 years. I'm also super creative. Ever since I was a little girl, I've been designing clothes, I've been drawing, and I've been making makeup looks since I was 3 years old. I would steal my mom's makeup bag and put on makeup, and now I'm very much still into it. So creativity is certainly not a very low aspect of my personality. I'm a very creative person, and graphic design definitely needs a lot of creativity. But I'm also incredibly good at communicating, and of course, being a huge part of being in graphic design is being able to communicate your ideas to clients. And I have a really big imagination, and I can get a very clear picture as to what I want to do before I do it, so I can definitely describe it to the client in very good detail before, which makes that it much easier for the client to decide if they like my design before the design is even made. And a fun fact is that creative typography is a type of graphic design. And here's my work cited page. I've really been interested in graphic design for a very long time, and I really want to do it when I grow up. And I hope it was as interesting to you as it was to me. Thank you!